Hey Strange Shoes, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for being here, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. Today I have for you all a what to know before you lock your hair, or what to know before you begin your lock journey video. I am filming this because I've been getting a lot of comments and questions on my Instagram and my YouTube about locks and things that I thought would have been helpful to know when I was researching my own little lock journey. Because if you don't know, I started my lock journey twice. Once with 2-strand twists, retwisting, palm twisting, and then again with interlocking, self-interlocking, self-retightening. So the first thing you should know is that no matter how many heads you look at, no matter how many vision boards, no matter how many people you see who hair looks like yours, your locks might not turn out that way. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a vision board and to aspire for a certain look, but you have to be realistic of what your actual hair density is, how thick or how dense or how fine your hair might be, because one person's locks hardly ever looks exactly like the other. It's perfectly fine to go into your lock journey into the unknown, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're going into the unknown. You're not gonna know what they look like until they grow out. Like, I didn't know that my locks would look like this, but here we are, and I'm very happy with them because I cultivated them myself. In terms of size, whenever you're looking at lock heads or you're looking at other people who are inspiration, be considerate of your own hair type and think about the size of the locks you want. In my personal opinion, if you have finer, thinner hair, I would go for more locks, so smaller parts. Like, if I started over, one of these days, if I start over, I would go for more locks, maybe even sister locks, maybe even micro locks, because these are actually just medium-sized locks on very fine hair. So if you have really, really thick hair, really, really dense hair, then you could go for thicker locks, 26, 40, 80 locks, and they'll look nice and full and big and juicy. And if you still want micro locks, you'll be one of the people who has about 600 locks in their head. It just depends on what your parting is. And I would also consider your parting shape. Parting shape is kind of important, not really important. It just depends on how you want your hair to fall. I personally have an irregular part because I started from half moon crescents in my first journey. Like the locks that I took down, the 2-strand twists that I took down to make these locks were half moon crescents, swiped in half, came to this like irregular, triangular, rectangular, just depends on where it is on my head. All the shapes include like triangle, square, block, irregular, half crescent, moon. There's a bunch of types of parting patterns, and if you are going to a loctician, you could ask for a particular type or whatever their specialty is, or whatever they're most comfortable doing. Or if you're very, very, very particular, get with someone who will honor your choice and do it exactly like you want it to be. Because especially with certain types of locking, once you lock it, it's kind of locked, unless you want to cut it off and start it again, or you want to comb them out over the course of a month. Another thing to consider is your starting method. How do you want to start your locks? Do you want to palm roll? Do you want to interlock? Do you want to 2-strand twist, then palm roll? Do you want to braid and then interlock? Like, there are so many combinations that you can do. You can start with extensions. You can start with instant locks. You can start with 2-strand twists. You can start with comb coils. You can start with braids. You can start with traditional interlocks. There are multiple different ways that you can start your journey. So think about what you want. And I don't care what anybody else says, instant locks are not cheating. Lock extensions are not cheating. Your lock journey is yours. Do it the way you want to do it. Had I known about instant locks, I probably would have did that too. I could have done lock extensions too. Like, I just didn't know what all my options were, and I just opted for something I could do myself. But don't let anyone make you feel like if you did extensions or instant locks or 2-strand twists that you're not doing it the traditional real way. Locks are locks. For all of those different type of methods, I think you should go with what your personality is like. So say for instance, sister locks. Sister locks take time to install and they take time to retighten. So if you want those, you have to think about your patience level, if you're okay with sitting still for many hours, if you are tender-headed like I am. Consider that if you do traditional palm rolling, you might have someone who back combs your hair and that might hurt you. I know for me, it hurt a lot, but there are things to consider when you're thinking about how you want to maintain your locks after you choose your start method. I know palm rolling is the quickest. I know crochet also takes a long time, probably longer than actual interlocking. Interlocking can be time consuming depending on who is doing the interlocking and how many locks that you have. If you're sister locked or brother locked, or you have micro locks, you might be sitting for 3 to 4 hours, maybe less. And if you're doing it yourself, you might be doing it for 4 to 6 hours or days. It's just whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you're not well versed with hair, if you're not like a hair person, like I wasn't a hair person until I went natural, and I just kind of figure it out as I go and as my hair transforms throughout the years. But if you know you don't want to dig in your own scalp, no problem. Research locticians in your area. I personally don't live in an area where locticians are plentiful. I looked and I looked and I could not find any in my area that had work that I was willing to let go on in my head. So just do your research. Be diligent in your research of your loctician, of who you're gonna have in your head. Know about their energy, their customer service, their timeliness, the quality of their work. You have to be diligent, and no one in my area was meeting any of my standards. So I was like, I have to do it myself. And if that means at some point, sooner or later, I'm gonna have to go get something corrected, which I haven't had to so far, but I do at some point want to visit with a professional to just kind of twist me down right quick one good time. Just have that research handy if you know you're not going to be able to do your own hair. Also, understand that locks are not something that you just put up and leave up and not mess with ever. It's important to still have a regimen when you're going to wash it, how often you're going to condition it, how often you're going to get it maintained if you're doing a maintained routine of either retwisting or retying or crochet locking, whatever. Just know that there's a regimen and a routine to maintain the health of your locks, because they need just as much care. Don't get me wrong, locks are low maintenance. They don't take as much work, but they still do require a regimen to maintain the health and the integrity so that there's no stress to your scalp, stress to your locks, any breakage, any like shedding or mold if you don't wash your hair that often. But that shouldn't happen as long as you're keeping a regimen, right? Right. So the very last thing to know when you're getting into the research of having your locks and you're just getting real excited and you're in the zone and you're getting your pictures together is to keep your expectations realistic. I know myself personally, I didn't do that in the beginning. I had my imagination just kind of went haywire of what I thought my locks could look like, because I was not taking into account who I am, number one, and what I'm able to manage and can accept and what I can realistically do, and what my hair is like and what my hair is known to do in the history of this fine, many strands but very fine hair. So I wanted a certain look of a lock, something thicker, something a little bit more full, and I might have gotten that if I went the traditional route of palm rolling and retwisting, but I also might have had more breakage because my hair is as thin as it is. So consider those things when you're researching your locks. Just keep your expectations realistic and really consider what your hair is like and who's gonna be in it and how you're gonna maintain it, because all of those factors are very important and very key to having a successful lock journey. I just wanted to make this video that if you're in the middle of your lock journey research, or if you're in the beginning of your lock journey and things are not looking the way you thought they would, it's okay. It's okay, because they probably are gonna continue to not look the way you think they would. And then one day you're gonna just like them out of nowhere. One day you're just gonna look at your hair like, wow, this is actually really cute. And if you're not pleased with your locks and you don't like the way they look, start over. No problem. I started over. Do what you want. Like I said, do what you want. It's your head. Do what's gonna make you happy, what's gonna make you feel cute, what's gonna make you feel like, you know, you are the Beyonce of locks. I usually say comment down below if you have any questions, but this time I'm gonna say comment down below and tell me about how your lock journey is going so far, or tell me how your research is going. If you haven't quite made the commitment just yet, if you're having second thoughts, just let me know in the comments how your journey is going, or how you are cultivating your research and deciding what method and what style you want to go for. And thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you next time. Peace.